Now it is time to assemble the movement. And so I've put all the wheels into their proper locations for the strike and the time side. And also I wanted to have you look at these winding drums. I went ahead and wound the winding drum, the cord onto the drums, and then I put a piece of tape here on each side to hold them in place so that once I have the movement together I can just slip off the tape and the cord will be already wound on here, and it does make it a little bit easier if you want to do it that way. Another thing that we're going to do is once we put the top plate on and then we'll work the pivots into their locations, we'll put the entire movement on top of this container here. We'll turn the container upside down and lay the movement on top, and that way it gives us a more eyeball level view of the movement as we're putting it together, so we can see the pivots going into the pivot holes. Now this one lever here I have left out, and this is the lever that is the count lever, and the reason why I leave that out is because you really need to assemble that to the top plate like this, because it does come through the top plate, and then proceed to put the top plate on the movement. So we'll go ahead and start that on here. First thing you want to do is you want to put the winding arbors into their proper holes, and then the cannon pinion comes through. Alright, so now we've got a start here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get some rubber bands like these. Now what we're going to do with these are kind of thick rubber bands, I guess similar type that you would use to bundle mail or something like that. And we're going to slip this onto the bottom here to hold the bottom plates together, because we're going to work from the bottom forward. So this helps hold this bottom part together as we move forward through the movement to put the pivots in the pivot holes. Okay, so now we have it on top of our container here. That way we can get a more straight ahead level view, and we can move the container around as we need to see the pivot holes. And then also use a pivot locator like this, which is has a curved tip on it, as you can see, where you can push and pull the pivots, because you want to push and pull the pivots into their locations. You don't want to pull on the wheels or anything like that, because you could scar the top movement plate or break pivots or bend pivots. So it's better to push and pull the pivots with this into place than to pull on the wheels or the arbors to try to get the pivots in. So I'm going to start working on this, and we'll see how I progress from there. If you don't have a pivot locator like this, all is not lost, because you can make your own real easy. Just take yourself a wire coat hanger like this, take a large side cutting pliers and cut off a good portion of the bottom length here, probably 12, 13, 14 inches like that. Take your round nose pliers and curl the end all the way in like that, make a loop. Then take the other side. So here we got the loop here on this side. We're going to take the other side like this, as you can see, and spin it back around the other direction. Let's see. Got to get a good grip on it until you have an S shape like that. And then go down to the end here, about, let's say, 5 inches from the bottom, and twist and turn all the way around like this. So you got a loop at the bottom. So now you've got your hand that can go inside a movement and adjust your pivot to pull your pivots in and out into the pivot holes. And then you've got a little retainer here for the back of your hand to hold on to, and you can very easily make a pivot locator out of a coat hanger. So all is not lost, and it's quick and easy to do. Once you have everything assembled, you want to make sure that when your count wheel is running, that it does stop properly when it falls into the slot at the end of the count, like so. If not, that means that you're going to need to shift some of your wheels around in here in order to make sure that it does stop when it does fall into the end of its strike train, when it stops there. So the next thing we need to do would be to go ahead and put some wooden pegs in here. So I'm going to use these round toothpicks, and let's see, that's a good length right there, so I'll use a nipper here just to cut it down to size. That's one. Then once I place these into the entire movement, then I'll remove the rubber bands, and then we'll set it up into the clock stand. So I'm going to put the 3 up there. And we'll go ahead and remove these rubber bands, and then we'll go on to the clock stand.